Inmates at San Quentin Prison recently had the opportunity to participate in a letter exchange with students at the Miami Youth Academy. The academy houses incarcerated teenagers. Yukari Kane of the Prison Journalism Project and Henry Unger set up the exchange and join us now. Thanks so much for joining with us. What extra meaning does this exchange hold, knowing the inmates and teens at the Youth Academy can relate to each other?
From my experience, so I've been teaching volunteering in adult prisons for about 5 years, teaching journalism. I'm a retired newspaper reporter and editor for many years, and also been doing it at Miami Youth Academy for about 2.5 years. My experience is that this is the most powerful thing I've witnessed so far, that the youth at Miami Youth Academy, they listen to teachers, they listen to counselors, they listen to volunteers like me, but I just haven't seen the impact that letters can have from people who've been down that road. Many of the people writing to them are youth offenders themselves. They've been gang members. They've had similar experiences in foster care, or for whatever reasons didn't do well in school, like some of the youth at Miami Youth Academy, or have been abused. Whatever the particular situation is, they can relate to it. And so the kids want to really listen, and you could tell. And this week, my experience was something that I never had before. I read a letter from one of the guys from San Quentin who responded to a prompt. And the prompt was there a key moment or incident in prison that helped me redefine how I saw or lived my life? And he responded to that prompt. And this was the first time in 2.5 years of teaching at Miami Youth Academy, I didn't hear anything for the 6 minutes or so that I read the letter. I heard no sound at all, and I was very surprised at that because the letter was so powerful.
It's incredibly moving. It's real special. It's kind of hard to describe what the feeling it gives me when I hear their input, how they can relate to what I went through, and that's my hope, that I can't turn back time for myself, but to try to give them that little spark so they can do something about the situation that they're in and move forward and move past it. Just to let them know that they have the power to make better choices and not get stuck and go backwards, that they have the opportunity right now. And yeah, I see myself in them most definitely. My hope was that I could share. Sorry, I'm getting a little emotional. The fact that I can share exactly, I know where you're at right now, and when we have to go back and kind of dig up those old memories as being a kid and the things that we was going through, and actually try to share that information, I think that's something that wakes you up and kind of gets you okay, yeah, I'm doing something, I am giving back. So anytime that we can give back to some people that's in opposition, and to keep them from going in adult prisons, or, to just step in somewhere and, to help change the course of their life, that's a no-brainer. We're going to do all that we can to keep kids from coming to prison.
Well, and on the San Quentin side, it's been the same experience. Marcus, the letter exchange isn't something that the Prison Journalism Project does as a core project, but it was so easy to put together, and it just it seemed like a great opportunity for a correspondence to happen. And Marcus Henderson, who's also an editorial associate for the Prison Journalism Project, helped us coordinate it with mainly the staff at San Quentin News. And he tells me that the response there is tremendous. He's got guys now coming by his cell asking to be a part of this program because, it's an opportunity for them to reflect too, and for them to realize how far they've come and to help youth. Marcus himself was a youth offender, and it's a community that he cares very, very much about really helping to make sure that they don't make the mistakes that he did.
I I've been in prison going on 30 years. I've been in jail since I was 16 years old. I made terrible decisions in my life when I was a kid and throughout most of my term. I was stuck in hopelessness and full of shame. I was a drug addict, and it took me a long time to work past all that and there was a lot of people in my life that extended their hand out to me and helped me throughout all these years. And I'm in a great place today. I mean, I'm in recovery. I do everything I can to help others so that they could see that there's a better way of doing things.
Talking about Marcus and then Heriberto, of course, they've both been in prison about 20 years or more. Both will have parole hearings coming up. So Yukari, what do you think about their growth?
I mean, the question, the way I think about it is, would I write a parole letter, a letter of support for them? And I've known Marcus for about 5 years now. I've worked with him closely. I would write one for him tomorrow. And I do take these letters very seriously. I mean, I think, doing this work that we do, we're not naive about it. Roberto, I think it's very possible. I mean, what I learned about him through his letters, showed so much growth and reflection, and you could tell he's done a lot of work for himself. I just don't know him personally, and so that would be something for somebody else who knows him better. But yeah, we see guys and women all the time that you just wonder, they should be out there running a company or a business or something. They're ready.
I just like everyone have a tremendous amount of stereotypes, particularly before I started teaching in prison. And one of the million of stereotypes I've been able to get rid of is a lot of these guys committed these crimes when they're 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. They've already been in there, like this guy I just mentioned, 26 years. They're not the same people. And somewhere along the line, many of them have decided, hey, I need to get my act together. I need to be either a good role model or a bad role model. And some of them, obviously, we see students who are motivated. So we're seeing, some of the, not a complete, not everybody, but the ones I come in contact with and teach, every single one of them are very motivated and have obviously changed from what they were, given that they've lived 20, 25 years in a controlled environment.
Yeah, it definitely does shine a light on a population we don't hear from usually. Do you both think these exchanges should be done on a broader basis?
Oh, absolutely. It just, the way we've just had a couple of exchanges, and already what Henry tells me about how the students are receiving it, for the men to feel like they're contributing and making a difference, because a lot of them are, they're itching to help their communities. And you do wonder, we understand the logistical challenges and the safety considerations and all of that, but it did give me a glimpse of the possibilities.
Well, also, as a lot of former prisoners have a lot of, hard time getting jobs and readjusting because of the stigma. And I'm just wondering if prisons in California and Florida and throughout the United States wouldn't be more successful, at least with youth, with the youth offenders, the people in the kids in the detention facilities, if the former prisoners weren't part of the staff. They would listen to these guys. I just saw in the kids' eyes how much more, when I'm reading these letters from the from the San Quentin guys, how much more impact that could have than any counselor spending 45 minutes in a counseling session with them. Letters from Wally and Heriberto, it's 100 times more the weight. And I'm just wondering, if they do get paroled and they did get jobs in a California or Florida or wherever prison, wouldn't they have a youth detention facility, wouldn't they have so much more effect?
Yeah, and it also shows the power of why they need to be telling their own stories directly, that it can't be somebody else. It's just, you lose there's a power that's lost.
People are scared to go to the source of information. I think when people have been incarcerated, they have stigmas, we have these stigmas, and they don't think that we don't have the information or the knowledge of how to avoid certain crises and to how to detour from certain situations. We have dealt with the abandonment issues, the peer pressure, the gang and mentality involvement. And these are where you have to go to find the solutions. And I think it's not being done because I think people that's in higher positions or schooling think they have the answers better than we do. So therefore, they just go off their own schooling and not actually going into the roots of where the information can be gathered and used for betterment of everybody.